Call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education, School District number 40 at 6 p.m. on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, at the Bartlett Performing Arts Center. The roll call. Audrey Adamson.
Here.
Chet Smith.
Here.
Mona Dixon.
Here.
Jason Farrell.
Here.
Lindsay Hines.
Here.
Andrew Wayer.
Here.
Aaron Waldron Smith.
Here.
Abigail Greenlee.
Here.
Jonathan Kalarbu. All right, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Approval of the minutes. Minutes of the regular, motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Education minute, James. Let's try that. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of January 8th, 2024?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This is motion, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session Board of Education meeting of January 8th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Communications, public comment, participation? We've got. All right. To consent agenda. It is a recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the actions contained in consent agenda items A through K, L2, L3, L4, L6, and M through P as presented. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call. Ramona Dixon.
No.
Jason Farrell.
Aye.
Lindsay Hines.
Aye.
Aaron Waldron Smith.
Aye.
Audrey Adamson.
Aye.
Chet Smith.
Aye.
Andrew Wayer. Aye. All right, recommend motion that the Board of Education approve the actions contained in consent agenda items L1 and L5 as presented.
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call. Jason Farrell.
Abstain.
Lindsay Hines.
Aye.
Aaron Waldron Smith.
Abstain.
Audrey Adamson.
Aye.
Chet Smith.
Aye.
Mona Dixon.
Aye.
Andrew Wayer. Aye. All right, moving on. All right, next is approval of the Monaco Valley School District's Discipline Improvement Plan. The recommended motion is that the Board of Education approve the Monaco Valley School District's Discipline Improvement Plan as presented.
So moved.
Discussion. All right, roll call please. Lindsay Hines.
Aye.
Aaron Waldron Smith.
Aye.
Audrey Adamson.
Aye.
Chet Smith.
Aye.
Ramona Dixon.
Aye.
Jason Farrell.
Aye.
Andrew Wayer. Aye. All right, now we're at reports.
Number seven.
Number 7. I must have not updated. Award of a bid, Moline High School controlled entry improvements. Recommended motion is that the Board of Education award the bid for Moline High School controlled entry improvement to Precision Builders, Bendorf, Iowa, in the amount of $230,550. I have a motion.
So. Second.
Discussion.
I have just a quick question. At one time, we had tried to get a grant for
We did, that's correct. We did apply, but we were not awarded.
That's what I thought, just wanted to check.
And that grant would have taken care of a portion of the cost.
All right, anything else? Roll call.
Aaron Walter-Smith,
Aye.
Audrey Addison,
Aye.
Chet DeSmith,
Aye.
Ramona Dixon,
Aye.
Jason Farrell,
Aye.
Lindsay Hines,
Aye.
Andrew Wade.
Aye. All right, now we'll get to reports, requests, and open discussion.
Okay, just a couple of things. We have had a couple of remote learning days here in the new year, which is not common for us. We do everything that we can to keep our doors open. That said, we have had some pretty decent student engagement over those couple of days. Parents, while it is not an ideal situation, at least there's that benefit of not having to make up those days in June when we are in that pivotal summer where we are ending the school year late and starting early. This is that one summer where in particular it's a benefit to not have to be able to make up those days. And teachers are reporting, far more student engagement on those days than they would likely see on days tacked on to the end of the year in June. So while not ideal, people seem to be making the most of it. That said, our teachers and our administrators want to do the best that they can so that we get even better at this. And particularly at the elementary level, teachers and administrators are going to be working together on our next school improvement day, which I think is February 7th, to try to come up with some uniform procedures. We know for our littles, on those days, some kids might be at daycare, some might be at grandma's, some might be with an older sibling, some of our older elementary kids might be on their own, and parents are expressing, hey, we want to help our students with their work when we get home in the evening. And so teachers and admins are going to work together to try to come up with some uniform procedures, in particular for the elementary level, so that we can be the most accommodating possible, because we know we have a lot of different family situations happening on those days. And teachers and the elementary principals were really receptive to that. So thank you. Some of you provided some of that feedback, and we are appreciative. We are also appreciative of the Moline Public Schools Foundation. They are amazing partners for us and do a lot to support our classrooms and our teachers through grants and a lot of extras. And they are launching a Restock the Schools for second semester, an online Amazon fundraiser store. Our principals and teachers got together and said, what are those extras? Some things that maybe go beyond the traditional classroom supplies. What are some of those extras? And they're going to be launching that, and we're just really grateful. All of those things will come directly into the warehouse and get divvied up to our schools and into teachers' classrooms as soon as possible. So just another great example of a powerful community partnership that we are so lucky to have on our side. End of semester is coming up this Friday. It seemed like it was a long ways away, and now here we are. So we are going to desperately try to navigate this goofy weather. I just received another link for a 4:30 a.m. National Weather Service call, so we're hoping that we can just make it happen and keep school open, especially this close to the end of the semester. But as always, we collaborate with our regional districts in the Metro QC. We're glad that we can make those difficult decisions at least collaboratively. So that is all I have.
I believe our board president's supposed to be on that call too.
The what?
I believe our board president's supposed to be on that 4:30 a.m.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'll text you all. So that you know.
Yeah, I'll be there under
Yeah, Lanty's all about it.
Yeah.
Rachel, on the collaboration between the elementary teachers and leaders,
Yes.
will that result in us having to update our remote learning plan? Are you anticipating that?
I think we might just add some additional procedures on the internal side. A couple of the pieces that stood out is maybe a uniform extension of time for remote work. Like maybe rather than, today's activities being due at the end of school at 3 o'clock or something like that, maybe there would be 24 or 48 hours for those elementary pieces to be due. So we just want teachers to weigh in on that and come up with a plan. So the The remote plan that's public facing is very general and very user friendly. Again, we acknowledge all of the different types of family situations. So I anticipate maybe just some internal procedures, but whatever they come up with, we definitely want to communicate it out, and it'll probably be for next year, so we're not confusing people in the middle of it. And, hopefully we don't even have to have any more, but TBD on that. I probably jinxed it already.
And I'm sure you've heard from all of us and from families. They understand the, unique situation that these remote learning days. We appreciate any flexibilities.
And kudos to the admins and the teachers and even the board through the approval of our renewal of our remote learning plan with the Regional Office of Education. While it's not perfect by any means, I will never say that it's perfect. We're ahead of the game in terms of some of our regional districts who aren't, whether it's the infrastructure or the training or the, just the buy-in from teachers and staff who are willing to figure it out. That does help us that we're at least a little bit ahead of that. So it's a work in progress.
Great. Anybody else? Okay. Todd, update on the super eval.
Yes, if you recall, a few years back, the Board of Education and Superintendent started utilizing the platform Super Eval for the superintendent evaluation process. It was well received and continues to be. It's very interactive. It allows Dr. Savage to update her goals and track that progress and input information throughout the school year. It is also very interactive. It's a 5-step interactive process that allows each board member to provide their own individual feedback, allows the board president to compile all that information, and then reach a summarized evaluation that the board president and or vice president can sit down with Dr. Savage and go through her evaluation when that time comes. That usually, we really start formalizing that process during the month of February. So I will work with Andy and kind of help move that process along and be a consultant as we go through that. There will be some specific events that will take place throughout the month of February, with the idea that the formal evaluation for Dr. Savage takes place anywhere between March 19th and the end of the month on March 29th. So you have some flexibility there. This is, again, as I said, is a very interactive process. It allows for input from board members, but also part of our process is Andy will direct me to send out a Google form to get some input from our administrators and our administrative team, and then he can use that as well. And so there'll be specific dates that we'll have. He'll update you, and I'll help with that at your next board meeting to kind of get things rolling again during the month of February. Then I'll send that survey out during the month of February with a reasonable timeline. If you recall, those of you that were on the board, we really scaled that input back, and that was well received by our administrative team in terms of what are some strengths, what are areas of strengths, what are opportunities for improvement or areas of growth, and that was well received, and I think it makes it a little easier on the backside for the summarizing as well. So that'll happen, and then you'll have an opportunity to provide your input within Super Eval. You have all, or should have, received a login and a password. Those of you that have the login can request the password if you happen to forget it through Super Eval. I sent our newer members a while back a link that also gave you a little bit of a training video that I think is a YouTube video that takes it from beginning to end. So if you have any questions, let myself know. Dr. Savage is obviously familiar with the process as well. Thank you.
Hypothetically, you could resend that link.
I sure could. I'd be happy to do that. You bet.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, appreciate the time. It's the main function of the school board is to hire and evaluate the superintendent, so it's really important that you take this seriously and flesh out your ideas of how Dr. Savage is doing. We know she's a rock star, but we need to put it out on paper. So, make sure you're taking your time to do that.
Can I follow up on that? As someone who was the board president, it's really helpful if you get it done in a timely manner.
Yes.
It's really not great to have to wait for someone to get it in at the last minute. No one here would want their evaluation done at the last minute. You would want someone to put thought and effort into it. So I think that needs to be a reminder to to make sure that, you stick with it.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about super eval is that you can work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Save your work and then come back to it, because I know I did mine over a few days.
I did as well.
It really helps in that process. You do a little bit at a time. Rush through it. It's a good tool, especially compared to what we used before, so it really helps in the whole process. And it really helps guide Dr. Savage administering the district. It really is an important tool for her as district to reach our goals.
So Amy, will you put like a time frame out there that you would be able to
Yeah,
file everything, and then that kind of gives us a backwards map?
yes,
So we can say, I can do a week, some this week, some next week, or whatever.
yeah. Todd has, we worked on a timeline, and we're gonna get that out probably this week after. We want to give you guys a heads up that it's coming, and as it's coming, then we'll send out a timeline to make sure we know like the end date, the cutoff date where we need to end it.
At any point in that process, do we just do our own individually, do we come together to talk, or does the system actually do the calculation?
The system does do the calculations for us. We didn't do a discussion last time.
I think you're.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Session.
When everybody finished their, now you're,
Yeah, there's a
the
discussion.
timeline, there's a discussion in closed session after everybody gets their emails in. We go through each one and talk about each subject lines. Category. Standard, yes, each standard.
One of those things.
One of those things, So, with that, that's a nice segue to a review of our board norms. Again, financial report. I had the wrong agenda. All right, let's do a financial report.
So just a quick update. So based on our annual budget, our revenues are at 43% realized. That's right on target as far as what we were projecting to be. Expenditures are at 34% of expended. That is also right on target where we were projected to be. And then as far as our fund balances, they're all right in line as with our projections. No real news on this front. So.
No news is good news.
Amen.
Thank you, Vince. All right, now we can go to review of board norms. We wanted to go through these again, understand what our role here is, and how we should work as a board. So Aaron and I talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up, and then I'll let Aaron, she had something she wanted to go over to, is our processes. I think we got a little bit sideways at the last meeting, so I wanted to go over how things are pulled from agendas and how things ideally should be worked out. Ideally, I would prefer that you would have, if you have items on the agenda, the consent agenda that need to be pulled out, to have those to Matt and to Rachel by Friday, close business Friday. So that those items could be pulled appropriately and be ready. And if that doesn't work, or if something comes up, or something, we need to have those done before the meeting starts. Because if we don't, we end up in some muddy waters that we don't want to be in. So we will stick to that going forward. Also, I wanted to kind of talk about the role of the board. The board's role is not to run the day-to-day operations of the district. That is not our job. Our job is to set policy and, if need be, have directives to Dr. Savage. Dr. Savage is the only person that answers to this board directly. So if you have a request, or if you want to have a meeting with somebody, I ask that associated with the district as a board member that you go through Dr. Savage. I know she's busy and but that is kind of part of the role of the superintendent. And that way, she can pull all the information together and be the central hub for all pieces that we need to answer. So, because if we're getting information from one person and what that person doesn't have the whole picture like Dr. Savage has, it could cause some consternation. So I would ask that those things run through her. Other than that, Erin, do you have, I know you had some items.
Just a couple things. I want to remind board members, we do not make decisions as individuals. We are a whole, we are not a singularity. It does not help if we promise community members things that we cannot give, and nor should we. We don't make decisions by ourselves. I really feel passionate, and I know, Andy, you can correct me here, but I really feel when I was the board president that when a question or concern comes up, you really need to CC the board president so they know what's going on. It helps with conflict. It keeps everybody on the same page. But if you have a concern, Andy as our leader knows about it. This is a common one that I kind of see. We can't reply all. You just can't. Just do your best not to do that, but really that's a big no-no. Even in text messages, we shouldn't all be discussing with each other in the same text message. That's
Can I interject there? If you need to get a message out to everybody, it is best to blind copy all the board members. That way you can't reply. I won't go to everyone. Just best practice. It keeps anybody from accidentally hitting that reply.
I know it's really hard when community members come to you and they're like, I want this done, or I want that done, or I'm mad about e-learning. We really, and I'm just going to stress, have to direct it to Dr. Savage. So there is a standard message that comes out. And to add on to the agenda, they are supposed to be posted for transparency for Open Meeting Act. And so when we pull or things at last minute, that kind of changes what we've presented to the public. So it is best practice for us to have it done before we walked in here. I understand emergencies happen. We're like, oh, dang it, my husband's part of the bowling softball is just an example, and things happen. And my last thing is, we all have things we're passionate about and things that we're here that sought us on the board, but we are here for every student, every community member, and every stakeholder. We're not here for the singularity. And that can be hard, and I've been there, but we are not individuals sitting here for individual things. We are a group.
Yeah, I want to add up to that. We are all parents in the district, so that is, that's kind of unique to boards. And it's a great thing, it's a wonderful thing actually, because we have a kind of good understanding of how things run in the district. But it also causes some conflict and some issues. But you have to remember that when we're here at this board, we're not parents of students. We are board members that represent all, we are parents of students. Okay. We represent all the needs of all the community, all stakeholders, everyone that lives in this district. We represent their needs and not just our own prerogatives. We represent all the students, not just the students.
That's right.
Not just the students needed, including you. So I just want to stress that again, that you're elected by the whole, not by certain groups. So.
That's it, I'm done.
I'm done too. Anybody else?
I appreciate that on this board, we can get passionate about what we're doing, but then afterwards, come back together and chat, and because we all want, I think it's important when we establish, we all want what's best for the school district. Yeah, we all have different ideas of paths that we can get there. I think, especially for us first years, that's going to change the we're still learning. And so the hardest part is coming in here and taking off a certain hat, whatever hat that might be. I mean, I just barely caught myself for the last meeting, but standing from, now I know I'm still have to from Little League because personally heavily involved with it. And so there's a lot of times where you have to check, you know, I have to remind myself to check my involvement for things and how it might be affecting that. So I just appreciate that we all are passionate about this district. I think that's a good thing.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right, with that, if we don't have any more, we will go into closed session.
Oh, everybody's finished.
Sorry, give this man a
Everyone, so I mean, this is important to
Do you have anything for us?
Honestly, do not have much to say since we've only been in school for 6 or 7 years. Not that I didn't enjoy even staying at home, but we're really close to finals, so it's a big push. Last 2 days here, but just kind of pushing towards finals. Not much else that I can report that's going on. So that's it.
Did you get any feedback about remote learning from like your students? Did anybody?
I know some people, particularly my sister, don't exactly enjoy it because she likes going and one, to see her friends and socialize, but also she kind of likes the structure, being out of the house. I do well with that too, but I also like to stay at home. I think most people were happy. For the most part, it got a lot of people, or gave a lot of people time to work at their own pace, which that's something I find enjoyable. I know some of my friends also find that enjoyable, to have the freedom to work for however long you want on each subject. I haven't really heard much negative feedback about it.
Thank you.
As long as it's every once in a while.
Yeah.
To go back to that.
I have 2 quick, I keep forgetting one of them, so I want to make sure I forget again. We were in Chicago as a delegate for the resolutions 2023. It was really cool to be part of that process, and I'm extremely passionate about that term, about us getting together and maybe coming up with a resolution that best represents our district. And so I've been more than happy to head that up. We have until about end of April to kind of get that handed out, and then maybe the submission, I think in June, they kick it back. And so if anyone would like to be involved in that, please let me know, and then I'll, obviously, the board and the administration will be involved in that process, but I'm at the very beginning stages. I don't want to be the voice of what we think is the best. So now we're the wheels have been turning for about 2 months in my mind, but I would love for the work and input and it's a chance for us to speak for our district and maybe push for something that can impact our kids and our teachers and our parents immediately. So I'd love to have everybody involved and everybody wants to.
Do you want to put like a deadline on like giving you ideas?
Because I live in freezing. Let's say February. When's our second February meeting? So 26th. Let's say by then you kind of have an idea of who's going to be helping out and we can spend time hammering that out. So we know.
Wait, are there certain parameters for this?
So yeah, so I'll pull all that information off the website, and anybody who's involved, we can look at that. The biggest thing is like making sure the wording is really well crafted, because I saw a lot of resolutions one from Geneseo, for example, kind of get argued over because something was not well defined, and that would kill a resolution like that. And so just making sure that not only does it impact our district, but it can be something that the whole state of Illinois, most school districts will listen to, yeah, this is great, this is something that would benefit us. And so I think there's a lot of areas we can go into on that. I think we have an opportunity to speak to a lot of needs that might be.
Yeah, to clarify, like these are like policy positions that the ISB would pursue and strengthen.
Yeah, and then I mean, I think we enacted last year, and I'll try to follow up and see what work's been done on those, but it's pretty interesting to see how like geographically focused somewhere, like quite literally one school district did not want any construction within 10 miles of the school. It didn't pass, but they were talking about disruption of everyday learning and things like that. There were 2 things like too much money, not enough, we want more, we want less control. So there's just a lot of areas we can go into. And so obviously, would love some help from people who are good at crafting this language too. Second thing, just real quick, Ms. Ritchie, when is the next game?
Thursday,
Thursday.
we have the UT Panthers in the house.
Okay, I would be there. So as a kid that came through the district, Chet, Lindsay, community high.
And
Oh, yeah.
the dinosaurs were on there.
Yeah, I heard some. Mr. Ritchie was a staple of the hallway, so it's just cool to see you guys' involvement even further, and I look forward to cheering on Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will now go.
Sorry, one more. I just wanted to do really quick, I know, sorry. Just a shout out to Susan Smice, who's a middle school teacher at Wilson. So she runs, for those of you that come to Wilson, the Morning Coffee Club, which is a book club where parents and students, or some adults and a student reads books together, and they come together 4 times a year to have a book club and discussions. So I was part of that with both of my children, and then have now a discussion we do with that. And this last Friday, she always picks books that have really good content, like they deal with issues of homelessness, food insecurity, just issues that typically students maybe that are reminded that there are peers of theirs that are experiencing these things, every day. So it's a really great thing, but she typically tries to do some author talks, and this last Friday, she had a Zoom in with the authors of a book that was about a young man, a teenager who was in Syria during the war, and he wrote, the CNN reporter helped write a graphic novel with him about this. And so the students and adults got to listen in and talk to him. I think hearing that perspective was really sort of impactful for many of them. So I just wanted to do a shout out to something I think really great that happens in our district and has been for a long time, but something else we don't know about.
Audrey, just look.
Mohammed Najim, war reporter. Yes.
Can I
So-
add something? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're good?
Yeah.
I didn't do that because I didn't go to Wilson. I transferred here my freshman year. I went to see him previously, but my sister did that, and my mom went to most of the mornings with her. And I just would like to say I appreciate the variety of content, even though I didn't necessarily read the books. I heard a lot about them. I appreciate the variety of content that Mrs. Smice puts out there, because I think it's important for students to be exposed to controversial topics, and even if they're not controversial topics that might be uncomfortable to talk about or listen to. So I do really appreciate that. I wish I would have got to do it.
Yeah.
And to add, didn't that program fall under the Lights On for Learning in some county they found out?
No, actually, it's through grants through the Millennium Public Schools Foundation, and then they have another grant through the Literacy Council, and then hopefully it's Mullen Foundation, and then Donut Delight donates delicious donuts. So I mean, that's not the only thing I know.
It's really well attended for
7 a.m. Yeah, I mean, and really great perspective and discussion it's so much fun to be doing it from this perspective now, just getting to hear people's thoughts on these things and hearing what takeaways are. So good stuff.
I just want to say, as a parent of 2 kids who did it, and as a librarian who picks out books and teaches enrichment, because of that, I teach 2 of those books. I mean, they're really quality books that I sat with my girls, and now I teach those books to my students. So.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
All right, anybody else? All right, we're gonna go into closed session. So, do I have to read it? Have a motion to go into closed session to consider the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meeting itself for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired under 5 ILCS 120/2C5, and to consider the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Opposed? not, it doesn't take.
In here, there's actually a sign, so. Like in there, where we're not really assigned seats.
All right, so we're. I have a motion to return to open session.
So,
All in favor?
I.
Opposed? All right, back in open session. All right, it is the recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the appointment of Dr. Monica Furlong to the position of bicentennial principal effective for the 2024-2025 school year.
So move.
Discussion.
I just want to say it sounds like our administrative team did a really good job, a thorough job, in finding a good candidate.
Agreed.
We're excited to have Dr. Furlong here in William, so. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ramona Dixon.
Aye.
Jason Farrell.
Aye.
Lindsay Hines.
Aye.
Aaron Walter Smith.
I.
Audrey Adamson.
Aye.
Chet Smith.
Aye.
Andrew Ware.
Aye. All right, can we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Discussion? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?